Aging is often portrayed as a golden era of life, filled with leisure, wisdom, and endless time to pursue passions. But let's be real for a moment. There are some less glamorous aspects of getting older that no one really talks about. Have you ever noticed how we gloss over the uncomfortable parts, pretending they don't exist? Today we're diving into the 12 unpleasant things seniors do as they age that no one warns you about. This isn't about shaming or pointing fingers, it's about understanding and preparing for the realities of growing older, whether for ourselves or our loved ones. And from changes in hygiene habits to unexpected personality shifts, these are things that can catch even the most prepared off guard. But the good news? Recognizing these challenges is the first step to dealing with them with grace and compassion. So, whether you're approaching your golden years or caring for someone who is, stick around because this might just open your eyes to what aging really entails. Ready to uncover the truth? Let's dive in. One of the first unpleasant realities of aging is a noticeable decline in personal hygiene. It's not that seniors suddenly stop caring about cleanliness. Often, it's a combination of physical limitations, cognitive decline, and even depression that leads to this change. Simple tasks like bathing, brushing teeth, or changing clothes can become overwhelming. Arthritis can make gripping a toothbrush painful, while balance issues might turn showers into daunting, slippery battlegrounds. For those experiencing dementia or Alzheimer's, the situation gets even trickier. They might forget the last time they showered, or resist help out of confusion and fear. And let's not overlook the psychological impact. When everyday tasks become a struggle, it can chip away at self-esteem, leading to even greater withdrawal. Family members often feel awkward addressing the issue, worried about hurting feelings or causing embarrassment. But understanding that this isn't about laziness but a genuine challenge is crucial. Approaching the topic with compassion, offering help subtly, and creating a routine can make all the difference. Recognizing the signs early and responding with empathy isn't just about maintaining hygiene, it's about preserving dignity. Another surprising aspect of aging is the tendency to hoard or cling to belongings, sometimes to the point where it becomes a serious problem. At first glance, it might just seem like a bit of clutter. Stacks of old magazines, piles of clothes that haven't been worn in years, or an attic bursting at the seams with just-in-case items. But for many seniors, hoarding isn't just about the stuff. It's about a deep emotional connection to the past and a fear of losing control. As the world around them changes rapidly, holding on to familiar objects offers a sense of stability and comfort. Moreover, conditions like dementia can impair decision-making abilities, making it even harder to let go of things. Family members often struggle to address this issue without causing upset, especially when it feels like every item has a story or a sentimental attachment. The key is to understand the emotions behind the behavior, loss, fear, or even loneliness. Encouraging small steps like sorting one box at a time or focusing on safety hazards first can help manage the situation without overwhelming them. It's not just about clearing out space, it's about helping them feel safe and in control. As people age, you might notice an uptick in stubbornness, a flat-out refusal to change routines, accept help, or even see a doctor. It's easy to chalk it up to just being set in their ways, but there's more to it than meets the eye. Often, this stubbornness is a mask for a deeper fear. Fear of losing independence, fear of being a burden, or fear of facing the reality of aging. Imagine spending decades making your own decisions, only to have your autonomy slowly chipped away. It's not surprising that many seniors resist advice or offers of assistance, even when it's clearly for their own good. Cognitive decline can also play a role, making it harder for them to see situations objectively. For caregivers and family members, it can be incredibly frustrating, especially when it feels like every suggestion turns into an argument. The secret to managing this is empathy and patience. Instead of making demands, try framing choices in a way that preserves their sense of control. Simple shifts like saying, "Would you prefer to go to the doctor in the morning or afternoon?" instead of "you need to see a doctor," can ease resistance. Understanding that this stubbornness is often rooted in fear can transform conflicts into opportunities for connection and trust. Have you ever noticed how some seniors tend to share a bit too much information, especially in public or with strangers? Conversations that start innocently enough can quickly veer into awkwardly personal territory, like detailed health complaints, financial woes, or even family conflicts. While it might seem humorous or harmless, this tendency to overshare can stem from loneliness, cognitive decline, or simply a diminished ability to gauge social cues. As people age, opportunities for meaningful conversations often dwindle, leaving them starved for connection. For some, memory lapses and diminished inhibition, common symptoms of conditions like dementia, can blur the line between what's appropriate to share and what's not. The result, blurts of information that leave everyone else cringing. It can be especially challenging for family members who find themselves frequently apologizing or redirecting conversations. The key is to respond with patience rather than embarrassment. Gently steering the conversation back on track without making them feel judged can help. Also recognizing the underlying loneliness and making an effort to engage them in more regular, meaningful conversations can reduce the urge to overshare. It's about making them feel heard without letting every chat turn into a public tell-all. Social withdrawal is one of the more subtle but profoundly impactful changes that often come with aging. You might notice a loved one skipping family gatherings, refusing invitations, or suddenly losing interest in clubs or hobbies they once loved. At first glance, it might seem like a simple case of wanting peace and quiet. But often, there's a lot more beneath the surface. Physical challenges like impaired hearing or mobility issues can make social situations feel overwhelming and exhausting. Imagine trying to keep up with a fast-paced conversation when you can barely hear half of what's being said. Then there's the emotional toll, grief from losing friends, feelings of irrelevance in a fast-changing world, or even depression can all contribute to pulling back. For those experiencing cognitive decline, the fear of embarrassment from forgetting names or details can make isolation feel safer. Unfortunately, this withdrawal can create a vicious cycle, deepening feelings of loneliness and even accelerating cognitive decline. The solution isn't to force them into social situations, but to offer manageable, low-pressure opportunities for connection. Short visits, phone calls, or even shared activities that don't require a lot of talking can help ease them back into social circles. Compassionate persistence paired with patience can help them rediscover the joys of connection at their own pace. As people age, it's common to notice a growing tendency to dwell on the past. Conversations often loop back to stories from decades ago, revisiting the same memories over and over again. While reminiscing is perfectly natural, excessive focus on the past can be a sign of deeper emotional needs or even cognitive changes. For many seniors, reflecting on the good old days offers comfort, a sense of identity, and a way to escape the uncertainties of the present and future. The past represents a time when they felt more in control, more connected, and more valued. However, for some, this fixation can signal depression or early dementia, where recent memories fade faster, leaving older ones more vivid and accessible. For family members, hearing the same stories repeatedly can be frustrating, but responding with impatience can lead to more withdrawal. Instead, embracing these moments as opportunities for connection is key. Ask questions about those memories. Show genuine interest. Not only does this help seniors feel valued and heard, but it can also subtly encourage them to engage more with the present. Bridging the past with the now, like linking old stories to current family events, can make them feel more anchored in today. It's about validating their memories without letting them get entirely stuck in them. Have you ever been caught off guard by an elderly relative who suddenly blurted out something shockingly blunt or inappropriate? As people age, it's not uncommon for their filter to weaken, leading to comments that are surprisingly direct or even rude. This lack of verbal restraint can stem from a few different causes. In some cases, cognitive decline, particularly from conditions like frontotemporal dementia, can impair the parts of the brain responsible for social inhibition. For others, it might simply be a case of feeling like they've earned the right to speak their minds without worrying about social niceties. After all, when you've lived 8 or 9 decades, patience for sugarcoating things might naturally wear thin. While it can be awkward for family members, especially in public or around company, It's essential to approach these moments with understanding. Responding with embarrassment or reprimands can lead to defensiveness or hurt feelings. Instead, gentle humor or a quick topic change can diffuse tension without making them feel criticized. It's also worth considering if there's an underlying issue at play, like medication side effects or early signs of dementia that might need addressing. Understanding why this happens can transform an awkward moment into an opportunity for patience and connection. One of the more unsettling changes that can come with aging is a rise in suspicion or even outright paranoia. You might notice a senior accusing family members of stealing, distrusting healthcare providers, or believing that neighbors are spying on them. While it might seem irrational, these fears often have roots in very real vulnerability. Cognitive decline, particularly in conditions like Alzheimer's or vascular dementia, can distort perception and memory, making it genuinely hard for them to distinguish between reality and misinterpretations. Imagine forgetting where you put your wallet and genuinely believing someone took it. It's not just frustrating, it's terrifying. On top of that, a loss of control in other areas of life can amplify a need to guard the few things they feel they can still manage. For family members, being falsely accused can feel hurtful and exhausting, but arguing or trying to reason it away often escalates the situation. Instead, a better approach is validation paired with gentle redirection, acknowledging their feelings without agreeing to the false reality. For example, saying, "I can see you're upset about your missing wallet, let's look for it together," can help them feel hurt without reinforcing the paranoia. Patience, empathy, and sometimes even a medical evaluation to rule out or manage cognitive decline can help navigate these challenging waters. One of the more alarming changes that can happen with aging is a sudden shift in financial habits. Seniors who were once thrifty and cautious might start spending recklessly, falling for telemarketing scams, making large donations to questionable charities, or purchasing things they don't need. On the flip side, some might become unusually stingy, refusing to spend money even on essentials. These behaviors often stem from cognitive decline, which can impair judgment and make it difficult to distinguish between legitimate expenses and scams. Additionally, loneliness and a desire for connection can make them more susceptible to friendly-sounding voices on the phone or persuasive sales tactics. The emotional toll of feeling less in control of their own lives can also lead to retail therapy as a way to reclaim some autonomy. For family members, discovering these financial mishaps can be both shocking and stressful, especially when it starts to threaten financial security. Approaching the topic without making them feel incompetent is key. Offering to help balance the budget or suggesting automated bill payments as a convenience can preserve their dignity while protecting their assets. Understanding that these behaviors are often symptoms of deeper issues like fear of dependence or cognitive decline can guide more compassionate and effective solutions. One of the most frustrating and bewildering behaviors family members face is when seniors refuse medical treatment or ignore doctors' advice altogether. This can range from skipping medications to outright refusing necessary surgeries or therapies. At first glance, it might seem like pure stubbornness or denial, but there's often a deeper reason. For many seniors, hospitals and clinics represent a loss of independence, a reminder that their bodies are no longer as reliable as they once were. There's also the fear factor, fear of painful procedures, bad news, or the reality of a chronic diagnosis. For others, cognitive decline might cause them to forget appointments or misunderstand instructions. Even financial concerns can play a role, especially for those on fixed incomes who worry about the cost of treatments. Family members often find themselves in a delicate balancing act. How do you respect a loved one's autonomy while ensuring they get the care they need? The answer lies in empathy and patient communication. Instead of ultimatums, try framing options to emphasize control, like choosing between different appointment times or treatments. Sometimes involving a trusted third party, like a familiar doctor or a friend who's been through similar treatments, can also help bridge the gap. Understanding that this refusal is often rooted in fear, not defiance, can transform conflict into cooperation. As people age, it's not uncommon for them to say things that are blunt, politically incorrect, or just plain awkward. You might find yourself cringing when an elderly relative makes a comment about someone's appearance, weight, or lifestyle right to their face. While it might seem like they've just stopped caring about social niceties, there's often a neurological explanation. Aging, especially when accompanied by dementia or other cognitive impairments, can affect the frontal lobe, the part of the brain responsible for impulse control and judgment. As a result, the ability to gauge what's appropriate to say in different situations diminishes. But it's not just cognitive decline. Some seniors also feel a genuine liberation from worrying about what others think. After decades of filtering themselves, they might just decide it's not worth the effort anymore. For family members, these moments can be mortifying, particularly in public or around people who don't understand the context. Responding with humor, a gentle change of subject, or even a private, compassionate explanation to those present can help diffuse the situation without shaming the senior. Understanding that this behavior is often more about brain changes than a sudden personality shift can help family members respond with patience instead of frustration. It's about balancing respect for their authenticity with gentle guidance in social settings.